Let's talk about one of the most frustrating skills in motorcycling, the U-turn. Not carving corners at 80, not lane splitting like a ninja, just turning your bike around at 5 miles per hour. And yet, this is where riders panic, dab, stall, or just give up and push the thing around like a dolly. But it doesn't have to be that way. I'm Matthew from Autozium, and today we're making U-turns easy so you can stop struggling at low speeds and start riding like you've actually got this thing figured out. Step 1, body position is everything. When most riders struggle with U-turns, they think the problem is balance, or maybe the bike is just too heavy or not made for tight turns. But more often than not, the real issue is body position. Here's the number one mistake beginners make: they lean with the bike. And that's totally understandable. At higher speeds, we're taught to lean into turns. Get your body in sync with the bike. Flow with it. It feels natural. It works. But at low speeds, especially during U turns, that instinct is exactly what works against you. Why? Because your motorcycle still needs to lean to make a tight turn. But you need to do the opposite: stay upright and counterbalance. Imagine this: your bike is going to dip into the U turn. If you lean with it, all the weight shifts inward. The center of gravity gets low and unstable. It becomes way easier to tip over, dab a foot, or stall. But if you keep your upper body upright, even slightly to the outside of the turn, you shift the weight back out, giving your bike the support it needs to lean underneath you. Here's how to nail that position: shift your weight to the outside peg. If you're turning left, lean your body slightly to the right. If you're turning right, shift slightly left. It doesn't have to be dramatic, just enough to balance the lean. Move your butt slightly off the seat toward the outside. Think of it like a mini version of what motard riders do in slow, tight turns. You're anchoring your weight where the balance needs it most. Keep your head and chest tall. Don't slouch into the turn or let your shoulders collapse inward. You want to stay proud and open. Relax your arms and grip. Tightening up your upper body causes stiffness throughout your whole riding posture. The looser and more natural your movement, the easier the bike flows underneath you. And here's the thing: you're not going to feel totally confident doing this the first few tries. You might overcompensate. You might feel like you're going to fall, but you won't. The bike wants to turn. Your job is just to help it do that without getting in its way. Think of yourself like a surfer, keeping balance while the board tilts and moves underneath. You're working with the machine, not fighting it. Once you get this counterbalance right, everything else — the clutch work, the throttle, the brake control — gets easier. You'll feel more planted, more in control, more stable. And pretty soon, that dreaded U-turn becomes just another part of your ride. Step 2, eyes up, head over shoulder. Let's be honest, this one sounds too simple to matter. But keeping your eyes up and your head turned toward the exit of the U-turn is probably the single most transformative thing you can do for your low-speed riding. Why? Because your motorcycle goes exactly where you look. If you're staring at your front tire, that's where your focus stays. Short-sighted, tight, hesitant. If you're glancing nervously at the curb or the line or the cars nearby, your bike will follow that nervous energy right into hesitation, or worse, a stall or tip over. But if you lock your eyes where you want to go, that magical point about 10 or 15 feet out at the end of your U-turn, your whole body naturally adjusts to help you get there. It's not magic. It's biomechanics and physics. Your body follows your eyes, and your bike follows your body. So when you set up for a U-turn, turn your head over your shoulder in the direction you're turning. I'm not talking about a lazy head tilt. I mean, turn that neck, chin to shoulder. See where you're going. Pick your exit point, not the halfway mark, not the middle of the turn, the end, the place where you want your bike to be rolling straight again. Hold that gaze. Don't check the ground. Don't second guess and peak mid turn. Just commit to that exit. It's going to feel weird at first. You'll be turning your head and your bike will still be leaning and your brain will scream, "What are we doing?" But trust the process. Because the second you lock that target with your eyes, your arms, shoulders, and core will all subtly adjust your line to meet it. It's like your body unlocks this internal GPS. And instead of forcing your way through the turn, you're just flowing through it. There's another hidden benefit too. Looking ahead calms your nerves. It keeps you from panicking about every inch of pavement under your wheels. It stops you from riding the fear. Instead, you ride the plan, the intention, the goal. So if you're struggling with U turns, and honestly, who hasn't? Start with this one habit: head up, eyes out, look where you want to go. You'll be shocked how quickly everything else starts to line up behind it. Step 3: master the friction zone. All right, now we're getting into the technical heartbeat of low speed control: the friction zone. This is the secret sauce, the cheat code, the magic trick that makes U turns, and really any slow maneuver, smooth and controlled instead of jerky and chaotic. Let's break it down. The friction zone is that tiny range of clutch lever movement between fully pulled in, disengaged, and fully released, engaged. It's the part where your bike starts to pull forward, but the clutch hasn't fully connected the engine to the rear wheel yet. At high speeds, you don't think much about this zone. You just shift and go. But at low speeds, this zone is everything. If you're letting the clutch out too quickly in a tight U turn, your bike lunges forward. You panic, you stab the rear brake. Maybe you stall. Maybe you dab a foot and lose your line. The goal is to live inside that friction zone. Here's how to do it: stay in first gear. Don't shift. Don't try to start in second. You need max control at low revs. Cover the clutch with two fingers, always. You want a feather light touch on the lever so you can respond instantly to any changes in throttle or balance. Keep throttle steady, about 10 to 15% twist, enough to keep the engine from bogging, but not enough to rocket you forward. Modulate speed with the clutch, not the throttle. If you feel the bike pulling too hard into the turn, don't close the throttle. Pull in a bit more clutch. And here's a crucial layer most riders miss: use slight rear brake pressure while you're in the friction zone. Not full stomp, just drag it. This adds stability, especially in turns. It keeps the bike settled. The front brake can make the bike dive or stand up. The rear keeps it grounded. So you're now juggling constant throttle, gentle clutch modulation in the friction zone, light rear brake pressure. Sounds complicated at first? Sure. But with 30 minutes of focused parking lot practice, it'll click. Once you master this rhythm, throttle steady, clutch feathered, rear brake balancing, you unlock full control of your bike under 10 miles per hour. And suddenly, U turns go from being a white knuckle nightmare to just another part of the ride. One more pro tip: listen to your bike. The engine note will tell you when it's getting bogged or when it's pulling too hard. Learn the sound of that sweet spot, that low, steady rumble where everything's in harmony. Get good here, and your bike will feel like a dance partner, not a runaway horse. Step 4: set up and commit. This is the mindset step, the part that separates "I'm going to try a U turn" from "I'm going to nail this U turn." Because a tight turn at low speed isn't just about technique, it's about mental commitment. Here's the truth: half of failed U turns happen before the bike even moves. Why? Because the rider hesitates. They creep into it. They second guess their line. They're thinking about the curb, the onlookers, the bike's weight. And when your brain is in panic mode, your body tenses, your eyes drop, you grab too much brake, you stall or tip. So before you even enter the turn, you need to set up and commit like this. 1. Posture check. Feet up, knees hugging the tank, shoulders relaxed, arms bent, two fingers covering the clutch, body slightly offset for counterbalance, eyes locked on your exit. This setup tells your bike and your brain that you're ready. Timer 2. Start with a clean entry. Don't wander into the U turn. Don't creep up and then try to twist the bars last second. Begin with a smooth roll into the friction zone. Start your lean early. Let the bike fall into the turn while you guide it. If you hesitate halfway and try to correct, the bike gets unstable. If you commit to your line from the start, it glides around with surprising grace, even on a heavy cruiser. 3. Trust the technique. Here's where experience kicks in. By now, you've practiced the friction zone. You've got throttle control. You know your body position. So let it all come together. Let your muscle memory run the show. If something feels off mid turn, don't fix it with a sudden brake or throttle chop. Just ride it out. Adjust gently. Smooth inputs win at low speed. 4. Don't be afraid to reset. Messed it up? No problem. Stop the bike, take a breath, roll back, and try again. Even the best riders, MSF instructors, motocops, stunt pros, they all reset when they need to. No shame, no pressure. Every attempt builds more feel, more confidence, and more understanding of your bike's behavior. Remember this: confidence doesn't come from never messing up, it comes from not being afraid to mess up again. So set up, lock in your posture, pick your line, and commit like you've done it 100 times, even if it's your third. Because once you commit to a U turn with the right setup and mindset, that's when it all clicks. Step 5. Practice in the right space. You wouldn't try to learn how to snowboard in the middle of traffic on an icy hill. So, why do so many new riders try to master U turns in tight parking lots between curbs, cones, pedestrians, or worse, on the road when it actually matters? The truth is simple. Where you practice determines how fast you improve. You want a wide open, quiet, distraction free place. Somewhere your brain can focus only on the bike, your body, and your technique. Look for empty parking lots on weekends. School lots are gold. Large paved open areas with little traffic. Spaces with minimal slope and no gravel or oil licks. Now, once you're there, don't just ride around randomly. Structure your practice like an actual session. Start big, shrink later. Use chalk, cones, water bottles, anything to mark your turn radius. Start with 20 feet between curb points. That's more than enough to get the feel. Once you're smooth, drop it to 18 feet, then 16, then 14th, which is the DMV test standard in many places. This progressive tightening does two things. 1. Builds muscle memory as you go. 2. Shows you real improvement. You're not just riding, you're measuring growth. Why figure eights are your secret weapon? You've heard it before, and there's a reason pros use this drill constantly. Figure eights are the ultimate low speed confidence builder. They force you to shift weight, direction, and clutch feel every few seconds. You'll learn to lean the bike under you to one side, then quickly reset and go the other way, all while staying composed. Start wide, then tighten your loops as you go. Bonus, it also teaches you not to be afraid of the bike leaning. And the more comfortable you get seeing the bars turned and the tank tilting, the less nervous you'll be in real world turns. Make it a weekly habit. Low speed control isn't one and done, it's maintenance. Even experienced riders go rusty on tight turns if they don't keep it. So do this. Once a week, practice for 20 to 30 minutes. Start your riding day with a few U-turn drills. End your day by nailing a figure eight. It's not about being perfect, it's about keeping the skill sharp and your confidence high. Because confidence in the lot translates to control on the street. And that's what keeps you upright, smooth, and smiling. Bonus tips, U-turn confidence hacks. All right, you've got the main techniques, but let's wrap with a few underrated gems that can make or break your U-turn game, especially when you're just getting started. 1. Practice both sides. Most riders are better at U-turns in one direction, usually to the left. But guess what? Life doesn't care. One day you're going to need that right side U-turn to get out of a sketchy alley or avoid a blind corner. So balance it out. If you do 5 left U turns, do 5 to the right. It'll feel weird at first, but the payoff in control and confidence is huge. 2. Stay off the front brake. It's tempting, especially when you're nervous, to squeeze the front brake in a tight turn. But don't. The front brake is not your friend at low speed. Even a gentle squeeze can cause the front to dive, stand the bike up, or lock the wheel entirely. None of those end well mid-turn. Instead, use light rear brake pressure. It keeps the bike stable without upsetting geometry. It's how cops and MSF coaches glide through tight cones like it's nothing. 3. Relax your upper body. Tension is the enemy. Tight shoulders, locked elbows, clenched jaws, they all mess with your balance and make you fight the bike. Instead, loosen up. Keep a light grip on the bars. Let your elbows bend. Let the bike do what it wants underneath you while your core stays stable and in control. It's like surfing. You're not muscling the wave, you're flowing with it. 4. Make it look casual. Here's a mental hack. Pretend you're not trying to impress anyone. Too many new riders psych themselves out mid U turn because they think someone's watching. Guess what? They're not. And even if they are, they don't care. So shrug it off. Relax. Laugh if it goes wrong. Reset and ride again. The more casual your mindset, the smoother your control. Every single time. Final thought. U-turns aren't a trick. They're a tool. You'll use them on every ride. Parking, gas stations, tight city streets, missed turns, awkward entrances. And if you put in just a little bit of focused, structured practice, you'll make U-turns part of your skill set. Not something you avoid like a pothole full of snakes. They become second nature. Muscle memory. One more piece of evidence that says, yeah, I ride. So grab your gear, find a lot, set those cones, and start carving smooth, confident turns like the road is yours, because it is. I'm Matthew from Autozium. Ride smooth, ride sharp, and I'll see you out there.